So last time in the last video, I promised that I was going to show you how to take your Uma character and use the weapons for Malber's animation. And I have to say that's turning out to be a little bit more tricky than I thought it was going to be. So I'm going to show you one way of doing it today. It's a simple way and it is destructive. So the first thing you want to do is if you've got your character configured the way that you want, is to make sure you have a backup of your scene so that when we make these changes, they're not reversible. So just as a warning. So right now, when we have our Uma character running around, you'll see that when they pick up the weapons, some very strange things happen. So, for example, I'm going to pick up a sword. You can see the sword's floating around there. And if I click to attack, it doesn't do anything. So there's some strangeness going on here. And if I do a roll, you see it's not going along with the character. So I've tried all kinds of different things to make this work, and it's not working. There is one way of doing it though, but like I said, it is a bit destructive. First of all, we want to make sure that our character is set up correctly. So when you take a look at some of the settings here, you'll see first of all that if you go under Animal Advanced, you want to make sure that the root bone is set to your character's root, which will not be a default. So I've changed that. I'll just set that there. And there's also two settings as far as your where your hands are, and that is one time in your weapons manager. So I've put the left hand into left, into the right hand into the right, and also in the rider. So here again, left hand and right hand. And we'll take a look at the rain offset and so forth later. But that's just basically to get the setup started. So, but now I want to show you how to make the character work. And the problem is that by doing this, you're going to create a prefab, and you're going to lose all of your functionality for your Uma. So you're not going to be able to change clothes on the fly. You're not going to be able to, use any of the blend shapes in the game time and so forth, game runtime. So there's some real disadvantages to doing this method. The only real advantage to this is that you can use the Uma character to get exactly the prefab that you want and prepare it for the game. So that once I have my cowboy figure here, that figure is going to stay the same. I'm not going to be able to change it during runtime, which is a disadvantage because you can do that with the Uma, of course. So the way that you do that is you look, first of all, we want to create a folder that we're going to put this in. So I'm just going to go to Assets, and I'm going to create a folder, and I'm going to call it Uma Prefab, or whatever name you want, because we'll need that in a second. Then you go to Uma Prefab Maker, and you click on that. So you'll see that there's a bunch of things here that need to be filled out. The first one is your Uma avatar, which is our Uma rider. And you drop that in there. And then we're going to give it a name. We'll call it Uma Prefab. And then we want to drop our folder into the prefab base folder, and you can see now that the make prefab has become active, so we're going to click on that. And now you'll see that that all of your settings for your Uma rider, as far as your ability to change the character, has gone away. So But now I will be able to pick up the weapons, and you can see that the as far as the positions of the weapons are considered, they're still wrong. So this sword is turned around, but at least now I'm able to make the motions and so forth. So the there's other videos provided by Malber that'll tell you how to go about setting things up for the various weapons and so forth. And so I won't go into detail in that because you can just go to Malber's and check it out there. So now I've switched to another version of that same scene, and you'll see that I've set up the weapons to work correctly now. So that not that one. The sword. The axe. And you can also tell that when I sheathe the axe and I do a roll, for example, now it's rolling with the character correctly. So that's all working right. I mean, that's just you have to use your hand offsets to get things to line up correctly. So okay, so that's the easy way to do it. But like I said, you're losing some functionality, so I'm going to probably create a third video once I figure this all out of how to do it with and keep your UMA functionality at the same time. It should work. I don't know why it's not working because all the other functionality works with the UMA as far as mounting and riding and so forth. So stay tuned and hopefully I'll figure it out. If you do have some clues about how to do that, let me know. And I'll see you in the next video.